I stood in the doorway, clutching Evelyn's diagnosis of cancer, her final hope for costly treatment. My children, Ethan and Lily, sat at the table, scrolling through their phones without a care. "Help," I begged. "It's your mother," Ethan snapped back. "It's your issue, Dad." Lily nodded, eyes fixed on her screen. A month later, Evelyn slipped away. They didn't even show up for the funeral. That night, I vowed their disloyalty would strip them of it all. I sought no violence, just fairness, and I knew exactly how to claim it. Before we go on, please subscribe to the channel and drop a comment on where you're tuning in from. I lingered in Ethan's doorway. The medical report crumpled tight in my fist. Evelyn's diagnosis, stage 4 cancer, seared into my thoughts. The New York skyline sparkled beyond the floor-to-ceiling windows of his spotless living room, all sleek lines and polished surfaces, like a display for a world I'd never grasp. My son lounged on a leather sofa, thumbing his phone. Lily, my daughter, sat nearby, fiddling with a silver bracelet that gleamed under the lights. I just shared the news of the treatment, the steep price, the faint odds of saving their mother. My voice broke as I pleaded, "Please help us. It's your mom." Ethan scoffed, gaze never lifting. "Your headache, Dad, not ours." Lily glanced my way for a split second, then returned to her device. She dipped her head in quiet accord. I advanced, the paper shaking in my grip. "You're her kids. She'd move mountains for you." My words hung heavy, pointless, like rocks vanishing into deep water. The air carried Lily's floral scent, crisp and lavish. I let the report fall onto the glass table. It hit with a muted thump, a desperate scribble on fragile sheets. Ethan shoved it aside with a single nudge, treating it like garbage. "You expect me to raid my nest egg for this? Come on." His tone was slick, honed, the voice of someone who sealed bargains and shattered vows without pause. I faced Lily, my chest constricting. "You haven't spoken. Say something." She rose, drifting to the window, her heels tapping the polished floor. "We can't swing it, Dad. You get that?" Her words came soft, yet they sliced deeper than Ethan's smirk. She wouldn't even turn to me. I'd covered their universities, their vehicles, their getaways. I'd logged extra shifts, skipped our own trips, forged their paths while Evelyn rooted for them every step. And now they perched in this cold fortress, pretending we were ghosts. My hands trembled. "I handed you the world," I said, my pitch climbing, "and you can't spare a dime." Ethan rose, looming above me, his suit flawless. "You chose your road. Don't drag us into mending it." The barb landed like a strike. I yearned to roar, to rattle them, to force them to picture Evelyn's expression upon hearing the verdict. But their stares, icy and remote, signaled my defeat. I snatched the report, its borders digging into my skin. It was my sole piece of her in that instant, this flimsy page bearing her destiny. I edged toward the exit, limbs leaden, the space shrank, the atmosphere thickened. I paused, fingers on the handle, and peered over my shoulder. Ethan had resumed his scrolling. Lily gazed outward, her outline crisp against the dusk. I longed to utter something, anything, to pierce their apathy. But silence won. The door latched with a click behind me. The noise pierced the hush like a blade. I halted there, solitary. The report still clutched. Their treachery wasn't merely a scar. It was a pledge. They'd endure this agony one way or another. I didn't know the method yet, but I'd ensure it. The engine purred as I idled in my aging sedan outside Ethan's tower. The medical report rested on the passenger seat, its folds snaring the street lamp's sheen. My fingers dug into the wheel, joints drained of color. Ethan's retort replayed. Your headache, Dad. And Lily's quiet cut worse. The New York night bore down on the glass, chill and unforgiving, mirroring the reality I couldn't flee. My children had forsaken us. Evelyn was fading, and I battled solo, but I'd press on regardless. I slipped into drive and rolled forward, the city smearing by. The faint leather aroma anchored me. Evelyn waited at home, resting, oblivious to our offspring's desertion. I couldn't burden her. Not now. She merited optimism, even if fabricated. At our simple suburban home, the porch lamp stuttered. Within, Evelyn's handmade quilt draped the sofa, an echo of her glow. I tiptoed by her room, her gentle breaths a slender lifeline in the gloom. In the kitchen, I phoned the bank. I need a loan, I stated, my tone firm despite the throb in my ribs. The officer's queries buzzed. Security, earnings, holdings. I offered scant beyond the car and our decades-scraped nest egg. Then I rang the dealership to offload the sedan. It's dated, but solid, I explained, shoving aside the sting of parting with the ride from Lily's commencement. By first light, I tapped our pension entirely. It fell short for complete care, but it launched the effort. My spine protested. Eyes stung, yet I persisted. Evelyn required my strength too. In the hospital, the corridors reeked of disinfectant. Evelyn rested in a slim bed, her complexion ashen, yet she beamed at my sight. You seem worn. Joel, she murmured, her timbre faint. I'm okay. I mustered a smile, settling at her side. We're managing. Her palm, slender and chilled, gripped mine. The silver of her wedding band shimmered, evoking the moment I placed it there, vowing eternity. I ached to confess about Ethan and Lily, to divide the load, but I held back. Instead, I fibbed. The kids send their warmest. She inclined her head, believing me fully. I despised my deceit. The physician drew me apart afterward. Expression somber. A month, perhaps 3, he noted. The therapy could extend it, but he trailed off. No need to elaborate. I covered what I gathered. Every penny I'd amassed. Days melted together. Bank errands, clinic dashes, midnight insurer huddles. Evelyn dwindled, her grins scarcer. I clasped her hand, recounted our youthful tales, whatever to tether her near. But the illness paid no heed. One evening, the monitor's pulse lagged. Evelyn's inhalation stuttered. I seized her hand, her band icy on my flesh. Stay with me, I breathed, though she couldn't catch it. The chamber hushed, save the flatline's wail. She had departed. I shed no tears, not immediately. Fury blazed too fiercely, too fresh. Ethan and Lily hadn't reached out, hadn't appeared. They'd condemned her to perish, left me to shoulder it solo. I tucked her band into my pocket, a solemn oath. They'd atone, not in gore, but in all they prized. I exited the hospital, the hallway endless ahead. My footfalls resounded, firm and resolved, in my pocket. The band nudged my leg, a cue of my loss and their impending one. Rain pattered the varnished oak of Evelyn's coffin, one droplet tracing its rim. I stood solitary on the sodden turf of the New York cemetery. My jacket drenched, the minister's chant droned, phrases of serenity and endless slumber. But I tuned out, my focus locked on the vacant seats aligned beneath the canopy, reserved for kin. Ethan and Lily had skipped it. No ring, no message. The overcast vaulted above, burdensome as sorrow. Yet keener was the rage twisting in my core. They'd forsaken her alive, and now departed. The rite concluded. The groundskeeper's spade grated the soil. A steady scrape, I pivoted, soles mired in the slick earth. The homeward drive hushed, radio silent, existence dulled. Our dwelling rang vacant sans Evelyn's chuckle, her tender tune, in the den. I dropped into the recliner, its weave frayed from her reading hours. A snapshot collection rested on the side table, its hide binding split. I hadn't opened it in ages. I parted the covers, hinges groaning, a shot of Ethan beaming in his initial ride, a second-hand coupe I'd toiled extras for, another of Lily aglow at her nuptials, the affair we'd pledged the roof to fund. Each frame chronicled yielding, affection, a clan I'd deemed solid. I'd swelled with pride once. I'd trusted their reciprocity. My digits clenched, creasing the leaf's border. How had we reached here? I leafed quicker. Visuals streaking. Ethan's diploma day. Lily's formal dance. A holiday where mirth united us. Evelyn's embrace around them. My torso throbbed. Not from woe, but deceit. They'd seized it all, our funds, our hours, our faith, and discarded it at our direst hour. I halted at an image of our quartet beaming at an outing long past. My grasp stilled. Their countenances, so youthful, so elated, taunted me presently. The book struck the rug with a bang, leaves splaying wide. I surged up, respiration jagged. No more, I declared to the void, my timbre even in the shadowed space. They'll answer for it. The declaration rang true, absolute. I was no longer the shattered soul who'd implored their aid. Not any longer. I strode to the bureau, extracting my cell, leafing contacts. I lingered on entries untouched for eras, former associates, debts due, folks with insights. My thumb paused at one, Tyler Harlan, an attorney I'd collaborated with ages back. He'd guide the outset, how to probe Ethan's ventures, Lily's liabilities. I craved details, footing, a strike at their vitals. The downpour drummed the pain, its gleam prancing on the pane. I glimpsed my visage, etched and fatigued, but my gaze keen. I tapped Tyler's line. It trilled once, twice, my pulse hammered. Not from qualms, but intent. I held mute upon link, just absorbing the buzz, the potential. Whatever followed, I stood prepared. Rain veiled the diner pane, smudging the New York Avenue beyond. I occupied a nook stall, a tepid brew ignored, my digits drumming the rim of a heated journal. The spot buzzed, servers calling orders, seats rasping, the breeze dense with brew and buzz. I checked my timepiece. Sarah, Tyler's link from Ethan's outfit, ran tardy. My sights darted to the entry, then to the journal, its leaves already scrawled with monikers, timelines, queries. This served as my lifeline now, my means to drag Ethan and Lily under. The entry tinkled. Sarah eased in, her wrap moist, glances skittish. She eased into the stall, gripping her satchel. I shouldn't be present. She breathed, scarce above the din. You're here regardless, I replied. Tone serene. Share about Ethan. She wavered, then inclined. He's boasted pacts that tally wrong. Shadow ledger moves. Believes he's invincible. I unclasped the journal, jotting. Who suspects mere murmurs? His superior may doubt. Her knuckles knotted a cloth square. Should it spill, he's finished. I inclined my head, my stylus firm. Standing was Ethan's trade. Forfeit it, and he'd shatter. More she averted. He's grown lax. Messages, rings. I've glimpsed a few. I urged her, mild yet insistent, till she yielded tags. Eras, a path to pursue. As she departed, hastening into the wet, I sensed a flicker, not delight, but drive. Next, I motored to Ryan's quarters, a tight nook midtown piled with dossiers. Ryan, my veteran barrister pal, reclined, not slack. Ethan's mired, he noted, flinging a sheaf over the surface. Dubious stakes. Should the overseers probe, he's scorched. And Lily, I queried, unfurling the journal. Ryan grinned slyly. 4 charge plates. 3 overdue hits. She's staging a sham. Social feeds galas. Luxury totes. Yet she's sinking. I recalled Lily once pleading for a handout for her venture. I'd granted it. No probe. Now her shortfalls were my edge. Can we wield this? I pressed. Ryan's regard sharpened. Hinges. What's your angle, Joel? I held silent. Homeward. Dusk shrouded the abode. Sole gleam from a sputtering fixture. I perched at the galley board. The journal splayed. My lead sketched bonds. Ethan standing. Lily shortfalls. Lines linked them. A snare of their crafting. For the first span in moons. I curved my lips. This transcended ire. It was command. I latched the journal, stowed it in a compartment, and secured it. The home hushed, but my wits hummed. I drew an antique portable, its strikes rigid from neglect, and launched Ethan's outfit sight. Tags, addresses, a ladder of sway. I commenced scripting a veiled dispatch, digits assured, yet core racing. You ought to probe Ethan Merrill, scrutinize his packs. The marker winked. Expectant, I ceased. The display's radiance stark on my features. Was this sufficient, or merely the dawn? The portable's radiance hurled gloom across my galley, the lone beam in the home. My digits lingered above the board, the veiled post half-penned. Ethan Merrill shadow pacts. Inspect the logs, the marker throbbed, a thrum in the murk. Evelyn's band nested in my pocket, nudging my thigh. I envisioned her pallor in the clinic, her faith in me intact, even as our heirs veered off. Was this excessive, wounding them as they'd wounded her? My grasp quivered. No, they earned it. I struck dispatch, the pain flared, note vanished, no retreat. I reclined, the seat groaning, and exhaled. The home stilled, the portable's drone waning as I powered down. Slumber evaded that eve, but I required none. I'd claimed the initial stride. Dawn fractured dim and keen. I strolled to a green near Midtown, craving breeze, clamor, ought to mute the doubts in my skull. The trails teemed, runners, hounds, young ones pursuing fowl. I claimed a slat, the timber moist from prior wet, and observed life flow. A broadcaster blared from a hawker's wagon, snaring my notice. Finance house eyed for odd flows. My veins surged. Ethan's house. It unfolded. Midway across, in Ethan's pain-walled chamber, he braced taut, device to ear. What do you imply a review? He barked, timbre strained. Who dropped that hint? His knot askew, his poise fraying. I wasn't witness, but I could conjure it. His alarm, his realm listing. Fine, homebound. I scanned the veiled post cache. The note flagged crimson. A response waited. We're probing it. My clasp balled, a subtle surge coursing me. I'd wrought this, I, the elder, whom they scorned. I strode the den. Vigor I'd lacked in years surging me. Yet a shade clung. Dread. What if they tracked it? What if I'd erred in the green prior? The broadcaster pressed on. No tags freed, but insiders claim prime figures jittery. I'd iced, heating, palms sunk in holds. Now home, I fired the bulletin, the lead's timbre flooding the space. Ethan's house anew. Further facts, watchdogs engaged, standings imperiled. I curved my lips, yet it spared my gaze. This marked the onset. My device thrummed, a script from Ryan. Ethan's unraveling. What wrought you? I eyed the pain. Thumb poised, no retort. Rather, I extracted the journal, its leaves creased from handling. I turned to Lily's tag, etched a fresh bond, shortfalls, revelation. Ethan reeled. But Lily loomed next. She directed her span on shows. Time to raise them. Ethan's chamber formed a pen of panes and girders, the New York vista jeering him via the casement. His device quivered, skidding over the board, Lily's tag pulsing. He grabbed it, mandible set. What fresh he bit, flinging a stylus that tumbled toward a fine rift in the paneboard. The rift snagged the beam, a serrated cue of the review his chief had just proclaimed, sparked by that veiled hint, his pacts, his standing, all fraying. You botched this. Aye, Lily's pitch pierced the talker. Your murky pacts haul us under. Me, Ethan gained his feet, striding. You're the one parading your shortfall-laden span across the net. One eyes us. Lily. One grasps. I wasn't sight, but I divined. From a thronged brewhouse over town, I nursed acrid brew, my device splayed to Lily's fresh net post, a strained beam at some lavish rite. The tagline crowed assurance, but I spied the fissures. Ryan had rung prior, timbre hushed. Their clawing kin, Joel, Ethan's wary, Lily's a ruin. I scrawled in my journal, Ethan, dread, Lily guys eroding. The lead rasped, steadying my thrum. In Lily's flat, the breeze hung with her aroma, yet the nook wrought turmoil. Gowns flung over the lounge, goblets unclean. She banged the portal, securing twice. Had you not slacked, she spat at Ethan, who'd barreled over. We'd evade this mire. Slacked. He ripped a leaf from a pad, mangling it. Your hemorrhaging coin. Lily, this rests on you. Their pitches clashed, a chorus of fault. I required no ear to sense their splintering, precisely as I'd schemed. Eras passed. They'd bickered thus over playthings. Notice, and I'd mediated. Patching, I'd credited them. Now, I viewed from afar, their treason stoking me. Evelyn's band nudged my thigh, a chill mass in my hold. At the brewhouse, the clatter of ware and murmur swathed me. I leafed their feeds, marking Lily's frenzied posts, Ethan's abrupt quiet. They distrusted a betrayer, but never me, the elder they belittled. My brew cooled. I rang Ryan. Latest I queried, timbre level. They're bursting, he noted, chuckling. Lily evades rings. Ethan's railing staff. You struck true. I curved my lips, yet keen, not kind. I recalled their glee, their tiny palms in mine. Could I have halted this then? No. They'd picked this trail. I penned fresh. Lily, lenders, urge fiercer. The brewhouse's din ebbed as I honed, the scheme crystallizing. Outward, I trod the twilight breeze, the berg's throb hastening. A merchant pain snared my eye, its pain scarred by a slim rift akin to Ethan's board rift, akin to the breaches in their spans. I drew my journal, etched a bond to Lily's tag, and murmured, Your shift. My coat gleamed wet as I thrust via the spinning portal of Ryan's quarters. The echo of my treads on the flag still tolled in my ears. The nook reeked of aged smokes and brew. Sheaves heaped askew on the board. A copper timer ticked on the ledge, its beat unyielding. Tallying the spans my heirs had spare, Ryan slid a sheaf my way, his knot slack. Lily's submerging, he said. 2 overdue hits, lenders prowling. Ethan's house. They're delving further. He's a slip from plunge. I paged the writs, figures blurring. Lily's shortfalls, a third pledge, lavish buys beyond reach. Can we deploy this? I queried, my stylus at ready above the journal. Ryan reclined, smirking. Should you crave her shamed? Aye. Hint lenders veiled. They'll throng. I nodded. The timer's tick swelled now. Span waned, but I clutched the deluge. At the New York Central Library, the breeze weighed with aged tome scent. I claimed a scuffed board, ringed by stacks, scouring statute caches for edge. My digits danced the portable, hauling tracts on shortfall pursuit. Ruin codes. A keeper wheeled by, her trolley squealing. Aid needed, she queried. Tomes on coin clashes, I replied. Gaze down. She steered me to a pile and I plunged. Scrawling cues. Veiled grievance. Lender thrust. Public scorn. Lily's span a card manner. And I'd huff it flat. Homebound. Nightfall cloaked the home. The timers tick a dim reverberation from the den. Evelyn's timer. The one she'd cranked each Sabbath. Its pointers firm where mine faltered. I sat at the galley board. A fresh leaf ahead. Could I enact this render Lily's realm to cinders, as she'd wrought ours? I glimpsed her at 5, hue on cheeks, chortling as she sketched with Evelyn. My gullet seized. Was this Evelyn's wish? I shrugged it. She perished isolated, spurned by the air she'd cherished. I scripted the writ to Lily's lenders, outlining her shortfalls, her skipped hits, her fables. The stylus grated, each term a stone in the barrier I raised. I paused, the timer's tick glutting the quiet. Was I beast or sire chasing equity I knew not now? I sealed the rap, palms assured. The home darkened, the breeze calm. I verified the bars, slipped the writ into my coat hold, and trod outward. The postbox loomed at the bend, its alloy flashing beneath a lane beam. I faltered, the rap ponderous. Evelyn's band nudged me, spurring. I fed the writ in, the gap clanging shut with a vacant bang. It sealed. The noise hung, keen in the still night, a herald of the tide. Glass splintered beneath Lily's soul, the fractured pain mirroring her wild eyes, her flat a battlefield. Silk garb snarled on the rug, a toppled goblet blotching the mat. The lender's writ quaked in her grasp, its claim blunt. Swift coin or suit. Her device hummed, a pursuer's timbre slashing through. We grasp your evasion, Miss Merrill. She flung the device, her wail gulped by the disarray. The sundered pane yawned, a ragged gash in her flawless realm. Over town, Ethan's chamber fared no better. Sheaves strewn his board, his knot shed. You're claiming they yanked the pact. He growled to the talker, his chief's timbre frosty at the far. Due to the review, this reeks of wreck. He pounded his clasp down, the rift in his pain board broadening. He knew not who hinted the watchers, but his realm contracted, his tags stained. I sat on a green slat, the New York twilight chill, fronds whispering in the gust. My device shone with bulletins. Merrill Finance eyed, Prime Patron pulls. Ryan's script trailed. Lily's a storm. Lenders hound her. I reclined, the timber moaning beneath. Their ache my craft. And it rang just keen, pure, like a edge striking home. Evelyn's void fueled me. Her band slumbered in my pocket. A nudge of the cause. I recalled their quiet, their shunned rings. As Evelyn dimmed, they'd left her to fade, left me to mourn solo. Now they'd sample that solitude. In the green, I spied Lily afar, her shades vast, her gait wobbly. She traversed unseen, her show crumbling akin to the pain in her flat. I nigh pitied her. Nigh. My journal lay splayed, its leaves etched with their tumble. Ethan's forfeited accord, Lily's open scorn. They hemorrhaged as I'd mapped, yet a shade clung. Had I overstepped? The notion gnawed, but I quelled it. Equity spared no tenderness. I rose, the green's piece clashing the gale I'd loosed, and headed home. My device peeled as I gained the stoop. Ethan's tag flared, a shock through me. Dad, he uttered. Timbre scraped, fractured. We must converse. I iced, the holder chilled to my ear. He rang needy, not bold. Ploy or breach I might pry, I voiced naught. Respiration even, I severed. The snap of the device keen in the still home. Whatever his aim, I'd meet it my way. The device's snap yet told in my ears. Ethan's fractured plea clipped mid-supplication. I sat in the faint den, the quiet dense, rent soul by the home's faint groan. Evelyn's band rested on the sideboard, its alloy snaring the fixture's beam. I traced its arc, her final terms sighing in my wits. Mind them. Joel. Had I botched her by raising them, the barb pricked. Yet their treason pricked fiercer. A crisp rap at the portal snapped me erect. I unbarred to behold Ethan and Lily on the stoop, gloom beneath eyes, their gloss shed. Ethan's garb creased, Lily's wrap awry. "Dad!" Ethan launched, his timbre. I shed my post. The house, they ousted me. Lily's pitch splintered. They're claiming my flat. The shortfalls. I can't settle. She neared, twisting her palms. We're remorseful, Dad, for all, for Mom. I braced still. The band burdened in recall, their visages, needy now, matched those that shunned Evelyn's rings. Her right. I glimpsed the bare seats at the boneyard, the wet pooling where they belonged. Remorse, I uttered. Timbre low, firm. You left her to perish isolated. Ethan winced. We erred. Fine. We overlooked. You cared not. I halted him, clasped firm on the frame. Lily wept, extending for me. But I withdrew. You sought my aid once. I yielded each time. And when I sought yours, you veered. Dad, grant it. Lily breathed, saline tracing her cheeks. We're kin. The term scorched. Kin. I'd once held it dear. I barred the portal, their pitches muffled as it latched. My torso throbbed, yet I held fast. They'd sample the ache they dealt. Every measure. Later, in a teeming midtown brewhouse, the chime of wear and murmur girded me. Ryan eased into the stall, a sheaf in grasp. You've them knelt, he said, beaming. But we press on, a suit. Claim refund for all you poured. School fees, rides, Lily's grand right. It's statute and it'll grind them. I nursed my brew. The sour rooted me. The band nudged my thigh, Evelyn's timbre spurring. Enact it, I said. Inking the writs, Ryan urged over. They must grasp. He inclined, bundling the sheaf. Halls come dawn. Set I held mute, just nesting the band deeper in my hold. Equity neared, yet it spared no honey. It weighed, absolute, homebound. My device thrummed with Ryan's script. Suit lodged, hauled on. I stood at the casement, the lane shadowed, a lone lane beam flickering. This for you, Evelyn. I breathed, my outbreath misting the pain. The beam's gleam danced keen and unbent, drawing me to dawn. The lane beam's gleam yet lingered in my wits as I sat in the New York hall. Its timber slats firm beneath, the breeze scented of buffed elm and strife. The arbiter's mallet hushed on the rostrum. Over the way. Ethan and Lily perched wan and diminished, their counsel murmuring frantic. The suit writs crisp in my grasp detailed every coin I'd funneled them. School outlays, rides, Lily's opulent right. Now I'd reclaim it with their honor. The arbiter hawked, scanning the plea. Mr. Merrill pursues refund for coin aid to his heirs, Ethan and Lily Merrill, summing over $280,000. Whispers stirred the chamber. Lily veiled her face. Ethan's clasps balled, joints blanched. Their counsel rose, contending they lacked means to yield, that it rang unjust. But Ryan had forged an unbreachable frame. Vault logs, tallies, my eras of yielding bared. The arbiter summoned me to voice. I gained feet, the writ ponderous, my timbre firm. This transcends coin, I stated, gaze fixed on my heirs. It's what they cast off. Their mother perished isolated, for they withheld aid. I forged their spans viable, and I forged their plunge. The hint on Ethan's pacts, the lenders chasing Lily. That wrought gasps rang. Ethan lurched ahead, bellowing. You wrecked us, Lily wept, frame quaking. The arbiter malleted. Yet I held. I glimpsed Evelyn's palm in that clinic cot. Her band chill, her draft gone. You forsook her, I said, my timbre slashing their wails. You forsook us twin. Now yield. The arbiter deemed me victor, mandating refund with yield. Ethan's visage folded. Lily's palms shielded her gaze. I sensed no glee. Soul a dour fulfillment. Equity rang not kind. It keen, absolute. Like the mallet's snap, I trod out. The writ creased in my coat, the twilight breeze nipping my cheek. The lane hushed. Gust rustling denuded boughs. I'd triumphed. Yet the wind rang vacant sans her. I paused at the boneyard's rim, its wrought portals towering in the gloam. Evelyn's plot waited there. I grazed the band in my hold, its arc known, rooting. The portals whined as I thrust them wide, their chime a summons to seal what I'd launched. The boneyard portals moaned as I crossed, grit crunching my soles. The twilight vault blazed rose, flinging mild beam on Evelyn's marker. Her tag, carved in sleek stone, felt a palm outstretched. I knelt, the sword damp, and placed her band on the slab, its alloy toasty from my hold. It's sealed, I said. Timbre low. They atoned for their deeds. The quiet cradled me, rent soul by a far fowl's cry. I recounted all, the suit, their saline, the hall's hush. I forced them to sense it. Evelyn, the wound they granted us. My digits skimmed the slab, chill and steadfast. I'd upheld my bond, yet the toll clung, a soft throb. She'd cherished them to the last. Would she have craved this? I gained feet, the sundown waning, and freed the query. The trail hither spanned long. Ethan's sneer, Lily's quiet, Evelyn's final draft. I glimpsed us heiress back, strolling palm in palm via a green, her chortle vivid, her gaze vital. That Evelyn I bore, not the one who dimmed in a clinic cot. I'd waged for her, for us, and it sufficed. Homebound, the home felt altered, yet hers, but unburdened. I purged the sideboard, stowing the snapshot tome, the journal, the suit writs, each token a leaf sealed, a mass eased, the aged timer's spot void, its tick fled, yet I craved it not. Spawn rang no foe now, I rang Tyler, my timbre firm, care for angling this Sabbath. He chortled, startled, in earnest. Joel heiress since. Span to recommence, I said. Earnest. We fixed a mark and I severed. The vow of fresh dawn nesting in me. In the den, I sat with Evelyn's snapshot, her beam mild in the fixture's beam. I'd raised their realm, not from spite, but devotion, for her, for the span we'd raised. They'd refit, or not. That spared me to bear. I doused the fixture, the nook plunging to calm gloom. In cot, I clutched her snapshot near. My draft slow, equity sealed, and I freed, not from loss, but wrath. I sealed my gaze, her visage the last I spied, and slumbered the lightest in eras. If this tale pleased you, kindly tap like on this clip, subscribe to the channel, and share your takes on this yarn in the remarks. To heed the next tale, tap the frame leftward, As the echoes of Joel's tale settle in the quiet night, what stirs within you the raw ache of lost love, or the fierce spark of reclaimed peace? Drop your honest impressions in the comments. Did Joel's justice feel right? Or too sharp a blade? Pose your questions here. Let's exchange ideas. Unravel the what-ifs together. What would you do in his shadowed shoes? Your words fuel our fires, drawing us closer as one community. Interact with the channel like if it touched you. Subscribe for more whispers of the heart. To hear the next story unfold, simply click the box on the left. Thank you. From the depths, your presence lights the way.